Why, hello. Steely at your service. Aren't you just something? I can tell that you're new to the Deadfire. Maybe you're still getting your bearings? Some of my herbs can help with seasickness or worse afflictions. It's nothing personal. You just have that taking everything in look about you. Give it time. It'll pass.
Oh, ain't no shame in looking, lass.
Money is the obvious answer, but I don't think that's what you're after. Yes, I'm an herbalist, but I also pride myself as a florist. I think the city liked the idea of putting a flower shop somewhere visible. It's ostentatious, really. Probably the same reason why we have a magic shop next door. Hariki's Overlook is a great big splash of culture and innovation, there to show travelers that the Huana are ready for the world at large. Absolutely.
Seraphin, thought we agreed you'd stay out of my head.
I weren't in your head, lad. You think like an ogre snores. Would be a fool and a half not to make sure them thoughts ain't full up of trouble.
What do you think you're gonna find?
Nothing particular, just, anything.
I say, you look like someone who wants protection and a certain something about presence. Akira? It isn't every day that I cater to your kind, but I like a challenge. Holler if any of the iron or steel laying around catches your fancy, or if you need something repaired, I'm happy to take a glance. Akira, but these wonders have suffered greatly. I say you must take better care of your things. I say I could repair these to their working order for 1,500 pyres each. Something about the metal, it yearns to bond as one. I could join all these pieces into a great sword for 3,000 pyres. If you need iron or steel, maybe even something lighter, I've got plenty in stock. Akira, when you swing this beauty, you must make sure to tell your foes that Mahiri sent you. Whispers of the Endless Paths. A most brooding and gloomful weapon, I say. May it chop your enemies into fine pieces for the delight of Tongaloa. I'm honored to have the trust of such a fine customer. Do not hesitate to bring me another challenge. Akira? If you need iron or steel, maybe even something lighter, I've got plenty in stock. Akira, they wouldn't put a traditional smith here unless she brought something special. My clients wanted everything engraved and beautiful. Wasn't why I got into the business, but it keeps my debtors happy. I keep it interesting working with exotic materials like shark leather, since there's some demand and little supply.
Is that an Orlin Cajun back? They don't let you have those in Deerwood anymore. That one's in pretty good condition.
I got nowhere else to turn. Stonehill is going to kill me!
Don't drag me into your mess, Bertenno, not again.
Then you leave me no choice. I'm sorry.
Hey, come back with that! Madiko! that flaccid Batsu. Imp, you had none of that, huh? That's what I thought. What am I going to do? Think, Fasina. My postenago of a lover stole Rokawa's fingers. The master will kill me if I don't get them back. He must have wanted to raise some fast coin. Arkemir will flay me alive over those damned gloves. Is it strange? I don't know. Go consult Arkemir's grimoire if you're that curious. He said that he's in debt to a Rautayan captain by the name of Hamuto Stoneheel. By all accounts, a deadly serious man. Not that it's any of your business, but Berteno used to spend a lot of late nights here. I got into the construct's guts and marked off Berteno as a safe visitor so they would not attack him. And before you ask, no, I will never do this again. You do not know Arkemir, do you? He is as cheap as a Wodican clerk. Whatever he loses from those gloves, he will take out on me. Somehow. A kindness, considering this is not your problem. I do not know where Berteno fences his goods, but he mentioned an appointment at the Bra Citadel docks. Hamuto Stonehill must be as dangerous as he sounds, or else Berteno wouldn't be so panicked. I am the apprentice of He of Many Colors. That's plain old Arkemir to you. What few spells I know have names like Arkemir's Dripping Scourge or Arkemir's Malevolent Codpiece. He made me conjure a household staff of imps. Horrible, chittering things. I think it's because he knows I hate them. He makes me call him by the titles he's earned in his long career. I can also call him by the titles I've made up since the start of my apprenticeship. To me, he's the bringer of foul wind, the teeth of suckling imps, and the herald of dirty slippers.
Fortune for a pun, good madam? Salutations. Do you wish to hear your fortune? I got on Arkemir's bad side and didn't exactly survive the experience. I'm not really supposed to chat with customers. How about you get yourself over to the Animansis Tower in the Sacred Stair, then? No need to gawk at me. The Queen is too pleased at having an archmage at her disposal to care. I can't blame her. The Huana have got it rough. We all need coin in the end. Sure, all the time. I see a fork in the road. There's a statue of a human. Someone in robes. Take the left fork. If you go right, it could get ugly. Don't ask me why. I can see no more. Unless you give me another pyre. I just told you an accurate fortune. You'll be thanking me when it comes true. Oh, Ifrin, you were right. I can't believe I ever doubted you. That's what you'll say. Guaranteed.
Quench your thirst on the way up the mountain? Spirits and the like? No one this side of the slope will scorn you for a little indulgence. Between us, folks tend to linger and spend coin in parikis when they've had a few. Good for business, I say.
You had no right to interfere in Rauatai's business.
Huana culture isn't business, you company drudge.
I don't give two pyres for your tribal pride, and I wager that Arkemir cares even less.
If this is what passes for Rauatai in diplomacy, Razanui has bigger problems.
If you've come to see Arkemir, you're too late. He left the estate on wizard business. The wizard got his hands on a Huana tablet, the Harapo epic. I came to reclaim it for Rauatai. In the middle of my negotiations, this little pest showed up with a claim on it.
The Harapo epic belongs to the Huana. The Queen sent me to remind you both. Akira, few outsiders can appreciate what such an artifact could mean to our people.
Posturing about cultural value is worthless. We both want the tablet for the same reason.
There are things better left unsaid.
While I'm standing here, you mean?
Akira, I don't deny it. A spellcaster, and a damn good one. Specializes in hexes and illusions. He and his apprentice run the Dark Cupboard, a local magic shop.
I believe that he had dealings with black market treasure hunters. Not that the Queen will implicate him.
She's too preoccupied negotiating with the warmongers at her door.
Arkemir could be drinking Kuiki wine with dead kings. There's no finding him if he doesn't want to be found.
I might as well adjourn to the palace in Serpent's Crown and give Arkemir time to think.
What a load of... You mean to get your hands on that tablet with or without Arkemir? You island rats can barely write your own names, much less a distinguished epic.
Scamper back to the Brass Citadel and spin your own plots. I will happily do the same on my side of the island. For me, I could use a reprieve. These are frustrating times we live in. What say? There's always Facina, Arkemir's apprentice. No love lost there if whispers are true. Arkemir seems to enrage those of his inner circle, not excluding the imps. Akira, I say the relevance of the Harapo epic can't be overstated. It could prove a touchstone for the Huana. It could even... Sorry, you go ahead. It is important to all who call the Deadfire home. I only tell you this because I know you can be trusted. The epic is supposed to contain information on Ukaizo. Nothing as dramatic as a set of coordinates, but anything helps. Stories are also important to the Huana. Much of who we are is still missing. The story could speak to the values and beliefs of our ancestors. The language structure, narrative voice, and use of metaphor can tell us something about the time of its inscription. We could even... Oh, I've lost you, haven't I? Akira, I tend to go on. Akira, from the Journal of Rakua, an explorer who found the tablet on a remote island some 20 years ago. Unfortunately for Rakua, the most we found of her was her journal among the flotsam of a shipwreck. They think the tablet can show them, well, the way to Ukaizo. Akira, it's a mythical island, but that isn't stopping any of us from rushing to claim it first. Akira, the pleasure is mine.
Yes, certainly.
If you find yourself in need of comfortable garb, I'm happy to oblige. And before you ask, no, I shouldn't have trouble fitting you for something. I've been known to rip a seam here and there, patch some shredded gear back into shape. Thought I was an armorer, did you? Assumed that my tree stump limbs and barrel chest lend themselves better to the forge than the needle? If it's armor you're after, Marihi will set you up. She's got a knack for metal.
You're a follower of the light?
The light? Oh, you mean... well, depends on what you mean by follow.
Maybe you heard earlier? I follow Aethys too. Mostly, in a way. I mean, I am a child of the Dawn Stars, even if firstly I'm a Gaunite.
That's good, I guess. For you?
Oh, maybe you don't want to talk about it. That's all right. Surely, some other time, then. Was it the way I said it? Or maybe I'm in need of a washing.
Hey, I wanted to ask you something. It's about Shodi. She means well. I can see that. And she's spirited, and if I was still young and didn't know the things I know, it'd be different. But anybody got that much faith in any god, let alone Aethys? I don't know how to talk to someone like that. Not these days. I get why she's like that. And I was there once, long time back. But it's 'cause of that I can't see a way to respect it. I'm no good at hiding it from her either. I don't see this getting better. All right, I'm not gonna hide it. Won't be pretty, though.
Takehu, you have shirked your duties for the last time, I say.
Guildmaster, be reasonable. I skipped one lecture to travel up the mountain. Still, the palace is closed until you present me before Onekaza.
You went alone. I asked for patience, but as usual, you make a trench out of a tide pool.
My patience wears thin, old shark. You have stifled me enough for one trip through Rakuhu's bowels.
I say Ngati weeps at her petulant spectacle of a child.
Ikera, the significance is clearer to some than others.
For a water shaper who treasures his duty to the goddess, you spend too many days cavorting at the brothel.
Ugh, insufferable. It is not every day that I see a stranger face than mine in this part of town. Kira, I bring art to the Guild of Water Shapers, but they do not tolerate expression here. What I am is to blame, I say. A fine guess, but no. It is because I am a godlike, kissed by the fish goddess at birth. Water shaping is Ngati's gift to the Huana, and apparently I am too. Savior to the tribes. The only question is, do I return to my duties, or while away a few hours in the bathhouse? The guild can wait until I am good and ready to return. Kara, I sent the prince a missive and heard nothing back. He is a busy warrior in a time of peace, I say. A watcher? And here I am, used to being the freak of Pariki's Overlook. What does a watcher do? Ikera, just so. I say I am no sailor, and I know even less about death. I am an artist. My peers do not understand. Water shaping to them is like studying calligraphy, to brew ink and sort parchment. The tide brings unexpected gifts. You are not unknown to me, I say. Whispers of an Adra Colossus reach my ears. And louder whispers of a corpse who follows him. What will you do when you catch up to this walking god? As do many mortals in the Deadfire, it seems the gods are no different. If it untangles me from the guild's apron strings, then you can mount me as the figurehead of your fair ship. Our quarters may smell of fish before long, but your crew will be more beautiful by association, I say.
No one's ever called me beautiful before.
Lead on. It will be good to put some distance between myself and the guild, even if we find less savory places along the way. A fair warning, Captain. Ngati gifted her favorite son with more than his stunning complexion. Leave the lure out of this, Captain. I say you will learn, in time. May we have...
Farewell and fair winds, dear.
Indeed. Happily.
You have questions for me. Speak up, I say. Ikira, my pleasure. Water shaping is a talent bestowed on the Huana by the goddess Ngati. Periki was the first in recent memory to organize the talent into a series of teachable forms. What else would you like to know? Our art is the yield of the Huana's ancient covenant with the goddess. Our ancestors pledged to protect the luminous Adra, the islands, and the tribes. Ngati gifted us with the strength to keep our promise. We control tides, prevent storm damage, and keep unwelcome ships at bay. Of course, you already know Takehu, our prized pupil. We represent the best of Huana achievement, no small responsibility. Ikira, speak freely.
Damn it, Takehu, why? I almost had it that time.
Not even close. If you want to achieve the second form, you will need to loosen that posture. Spending a day submerged in the bathhouse always helped me.
Did you need something? I can feel the connection to Andra just like Myru taught me. But there's something missing. Maybe it's my form.
Remain loose, but not too loose. Confine yourself, but spread out at all times.
Like this?
Perfect. Keep at it, and you'll be teaching me the fourth form in no time.
Suppose I'll give anything a try.
A life without friction or challenge has left the boy in need of guidance. He thinks himself frail, but my heart beats in his chest. He is stronger than either of you could know.
Captain, what say? You look a little blue about the gills. Ngati spoke to you. Ha! To leave her son guessing. Oh, this is my tricksome mother through and through. What mother doesn't? You must be special indeed for Ngati to speak with words. For her people, she lays out cryptic stepping stones hidden in omens. Akera, but send her my fondest wishes. The Kahanga are my tribe, but my people settled on Atua, an island too modest to deserve the attention of maps. My mortal mother tans boar hides. My father trades in the abundance of pearls and opals Atua is blessed to provide. When I was born, father called me his blue topaz boy. Doubtless, I say, but I am the most precious gem of recent history. Godlike are revered as bringers of local change, but only Ngati's chosen is thought to deliver an omen for all Huana at once. Akera, high winds stirred the vigor of the seas. 2 huts collapsed before our local storm speaker could shout down the weather. They say the skies only cleared when I fell into the midwife's basket. Peace had returned to the island, or so the Mataru predicted. I could not be kept from the water, so my father taught me how to dive for pearls and azada snails. Ngati filled my palms with riches on every harvest, I say. When I came of an age to begin a man's pursuits, the Mataru reached out to the Huana Queen. Weighing my arrival against the forces that descended on her territory, the Queen could not invite Ngati's chosen into the Watershapers Guild fast enough. In hard times, the endorsement of a goddess is more valuable than currency. Akera, speak on. Ah, the art of our ancestors, I say. To bend water to our will is a gift from Mother Ngati to her chosen people. Since devastation swept our way of life out to sea, too much of the art has been lost. Periki, founder of the guild, organized the lore of Ngati's talent into a series of postures and meditations we call the 4 forms of water shaping. Try as we might to embody Ngati's element, our bodies are not water. Akera, this is the form of grief, a beginner's test. The body's internal water is a force that conquers all. Even the mountain will bow to the stream. The form of hope, I say. Water commands its vessel, and the vessel can be shaped as surely as the mountain. The form of metamorphosis, Akera? The art is a challenge to grasp, difficult to master, and impossible to perfect. Unless you are Ngati's chosen, I say. Ah, it is only by force of habit that I omit the final form. We do not speak of it in the guild. The form of transcendence. Only a story, I say. Even crafty Periki could not commit this ancient form to her scrolls. It was said that our ancestors could shape the very oceans of the Deadfire. This was Ngati's true gift, but we have yet to recover it from the ruins of our past. Try as we might to embody Ngati's element, our bodies are not water. Akera, this is the form of grief, a beginner's test. The body's internal water is a force that conquers all. Even the mountain will bow to the stream. The form of hope, I say. Water commands its vessel, and the vessel can be shaped as surely as the mountain. The form of metamorphosis, Akera? The art is a challenge to grasp, difficult to master, and impossible to perfect. Unless you are Ngati's chosen, I say.
I'm here. At once.
I've noticed you seem to be frequently at odds with others in your order.
Some of my brethren don't understand why I gotta do what I do, but I'm not beholden to them.
I can certainly sympathize.
Hold a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company vipers. Take care you are not bitten. Mere words. You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose. Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. The gods remember the honest, and so do I. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
Huck, I know this one. Her parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Berth.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
Huh. What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. I keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
How came a watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court. tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain. A fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire? How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Adra to bankroll an economy. I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hisongo. Set sail to the west of Nekataka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Only that Hisongo is a Rauatayan outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
Ma'am?
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Perfecto. Do you mean to stop Iotas by shooting him? Seri Palagino will go with the Watcher, show her how the Republic's handled things.
Your Excellency, Palagina Messerai has been banished? She has been seen in Queen's Berth. I can have a report to headquarters.
You should feel no obligation to take on additional crew. The choice is yours.
Say the word and I'll shoot the tip off a green boy's nose.
You're making a mistake, Watcher. In times like these, trustworthy allies are the most valuable asset of all.
Calm down, Nero. I'm sure you'll get one of your spies in place eventually. In the meantime, Watcher, I hope you'll meet me in the Brass Citadel. There's more for us to discuss among friendlier company.
I believe we are finished here. Are we? Aren't we popular? Take care at Hisongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in. Your allies will use you toward any end. Do not give your trust lightly.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Let's speak. While we have the chance.
I'd be glad to.
Your coming is a favorable omen already. Nonsense. How else do the gods whisper in our ear? You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. Bringing Ngati's chosen on your trek up the mountain. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies. Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this. You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked. Nekataka is a city of friends, I say. We exchange so much between districts. Even my sister's advisors dine at the officers' lounge and indulge at the wild mare. Here in Serpent's Crown, I can guarantee safety, but cavorting with outsiders, Akira, that is open water. Tekehu, I must remind you to be vigilant, even though you will ignore my advice.
My prince, wild mares could not keep me from the wild mare, but I will remember your words.
A helpful warning, Herald of Berith, from one friend to another. My sister keeps a tight grip on the Nekataka, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet. Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Rapau for their silence. Take this if you need proof. Akira, you are sharper than my guards for knowing this, I say. An envoy ship sank a day's voyage out of Nekataka. He wore that on his breast. My guards recovered it in a raid of the gullet. This confirms my suspicion. Nekataka has a pirate problem. Smugglers and thieves cluster like rats in Delver's Row, a growth in the bowels of our city. I want someone to peddle the medallion to the black market, earn the trust of these pirates, and learn how supplies come into my city. It will depend on what you find, I say. Onekaza leaves this for me to handle. While she worries about the manor, I tidy up the basement. It must take keen senses to peer through the veil. Others will miss the details that stand out to you, I'm thinking. Yours is not a face that others will recognize. Let no one learn that you work for the crown. Naturally, you will want to take Ngati's chosen with you.
Me? For what does the lower city need an artist?
You mistake me, I say. I send you because of the missive you delivered to my sister.
Akira, I did not realize. Better if we discuss it on our way down the mountain.
Be on your guard in the gullet. I fear the caverns run deeper than even Ngati could guess.
What do you need of me? Well? I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street. All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really. I am the son of it. All we had to... That's the long and short of it, really. Well, you would need to become a shield bearer yourself to really learn it all. But I suppose I can teach you a thing or two as we stand here. The privilege will run you 3,000 copper, however. My thanks.
Barati pays coin to feed the great eel.
You songwriters need a guild if you hope to learn discipline.
Not so. We speak in the tongue of Ngati and Amira. Your pretty dances may upset the puddle, but we command the wind and sky.
Hey, I have missed our little talks.
Ikera.
He smells one touched by the great eel, does Barati. You are a woman who sits across a fire with death. Akira, for glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, Barati can offer payment. Coins for feeding hungry gods. Akira, rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Barati's cause. May the beasts of the Dreaming Lands never know famine. Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila, a Valian captain who scouts for luminous Adra in sacred lands. Akira, Tangaloa knew it would be so. Dichila sails her Voyager Alisio around the waters south of Nikitaka. The great eel hungers for her soul.
You make a habit of turning up uninvited. Kahopa, Tangaloa, welcome our guest.
Watch out. When these things lick, well, I hope for your sake you're not ticklish.
You travel with a brave crew, Watcher. Nothing to fear, I say. If a queen cannot wrangle two cats, what right has she to the Deadfire? There are many leagues between here and Hasongo. I trust you have packed for the journey. Then look, take in every delight within reason, but do not waste my time. The boldness of foreigners.
Takehu, would you mind terribly if I touched your hair?
Of course not. Only touch gently, and they will return the favor.
Huh. That's what Angwer said when we were necking in the Merkberries.
Hello there! Come to have a word? I don't bite, I promise. Yes? Gladly, my friend, gladly, and how kind of you to ask. I am the youngest son of a noble house. Now, don't make that face. Poor, desperate fool, you must be thinking. Well, waste not your sympathies on me. Truly, I consider it a boon rather than a punishment. All the comfort and none of the responsibility. What's not to like about that? As I was loafing about my father's estate, I thought, well, Gervard, isn't it time you made a name for yourself as well? So here I am, and though I dare say I'm little use in a fistfight, I can do a fair bit of magic and draw a lovely map, so I've taken to charting the interior wilderness of the Deadfire's larger islands. Ah, but it's worth it for the stories I'll one day have to tell. But truly, if I could only inspire others as I myself have been inspired by those old tales, why, it would be marvelous. Anyway, enough of my prattling. Surely you've other things to do. Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. For a price, of course. 3,000 copper? Very well.
I know exactly what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right? The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses. Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Well, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come.
That's a good-looking bird. Hey, Birdie. Hey, Birdie.
Takes practice before he'll listen to you properly, but that's a good start. Did your friend suffer a head wound? Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? Sort it out as equals. Interesting. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Stranger things have happened at sea, believe me. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together. He came back from the Deerwood with his head full of stories about the Ingwithans. Used them to make an argument for our expansion into the north, and by the gods did people ever listen. He lost some of that childish glow, but the weird ideas stayed with him. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it. You kept him alive in any case, while he wandered the lands in search of stories. I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they emigrated to Rawatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. You're telling me. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain.
Absolutely.
Hunter or prey?
Do you seek companionship on your travels across the Deadfire? Why not take a little friend along? We have many animals on offer, all well-trained and eager for a new home. Akira, you are sure to find one that suits you.